Hey, it's JC14241 once again with another album review, and today we're going to be talking about the new fourth studio album from Evanescence, and that is The Bitter Truth. Now, there was Synthesis in 2017, but Amy Lee herself said that she doesn't consider that an actual Evanescence album, considering that most of the band wasn't really a part of that at that point. But there was Imperfection, which was a great song that grew on me really quickly, and High Low, which I don't even remember. But I've been listening to Evanescence before any other band. I remember I was 3 years old sitting in my mom's car before daycare opened or something, and I asked her to play the Evanescence CD and put that in the stereo. And that was my first CD that I ever owned. For Christmas, I got Fallen by Evanescence, and then I got Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park from someone else. Then there was the 2005 Nickelback album. Those were the only bands that I knew for the longest time, along with Lynyrd Skynyrd, because Sweet Home Alabama was catchy as fuck. But anyhow, let's get talking about this track listing here. Track 1, Artifact and The Turn. Now, it is an opening theme of self-reflection and evaluating your options whenever you're just simply lost. Sound-wise, it's a synthetic but suspenseful renaissance piece of sorts. And then this transitions smoothly and pretty coolly into track 2, Broken Pieces Shine. I don't know why this wasn't a single, to be honest, because it wasn't intended to be fun for the crowd, and it would probably be a great set opener too. That's why it's the first actual song on the album. Not that the other stuff you couldn't consider songs before this, but a lot of us Evanescence fans share the same sentiment of being broken and fucked up, and that's just what we're all here to accept with this song. That's kind of what it's about, getting everybody together and all saying, yeah, a lot of us have been through some crazy shit, maybe not even right in the head after it sometimes, but just let it out, let the pain go, and I totally feel it with this song. It's an absolute 10 out of 10 to start the album. Amy Lee's voice over the full guitar chords is better here than all the singles, in my opinion, just because it's so much more intense. The drums kick it, and they have this awesome pace to them. They make it so dark and powerful, and the rhythm, the lead-ins. Track 3 is The Game Is Over. It's not really one that I can even relate to that well, just because I don't really ever wear a mask. No, I wear a mask. It's a COVID-19 mask. I do that. But I mean, like, with me, what you see is what you get. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. It's probably not the best thing sometimes because I can be too outspoken. But this song is about relieving the pressure of putting one on for people. And, not actually being you just for the sake of, being accepted by everyone. Whenever, that's not how it's going to work. You shouldn't try too hard. And everything is kind of muddy in the verses. The chorus is melodic, like a chorus should be. The bridge is just a simple little jam, and I have no idea why this was a single, though. Not only is it filler, but it's fairly boring in my perspective. Then you got track 4, which is Yeah Right, another one of the singles. This is one of my favorites, probably my second favorite single out of all of them. It's a total bop, just absolute bitching sarcasm, and it kind of mocks the cutesy-wootsy pop era all over again, just like Everybody's Fool, the music video, did. Except this is more blunt. And the thing is, that pop era never actually ended. If anything, it's gotten worse. Did you see what happened on the Grammy Awards? Okay, this is hard rock and up-tempo with sweet electronics and the xylophone there, too. I love that whenever the bridge begins. Now, there is a guitar solo. It's good, though it sounds like total shit. Track 5, Feeding the Dark, with poisonous and snake-like verses, then a chorus that has a standoff with those demons that you just can't run from sometimes. It does sound just like anything from their debut album, although it is its own song. You could confuse it with something from Fallen if you ask me. But the guitar tone is favorably dark, even while playing brightly in the bridge. Track 6 is Wasted on You, the lead single. Still, after everything, it feels like the best song on the album, in my opinion, despite being very different from everything else and not as aggressive and nihilistic as you usually get with Evanescence over the years and other songs even on this album. You get a very 8-bit and washed-out percussion style that kind of just lets everything soak into it. So that kind of goes with washing something out, Hearing this while the whole world shut its doors was kind of like listening to Christmas music at first for me. I got that kind of sensation from it. And you go into this bridge, and it's an interesting key change of sorts that just flourishes as it goes into that final chorus, and I get the chills from it. Much like Creep by Radiohead, it's a ballad where the soundscape tends to work in its favor. The 7th track on this record is Better Without You. And I gotta say it, Evanescence can really start a song. She turns this key on the music box, and then you got this new metal thunder, and it just sells it all for me immediately. Amy Lee has made this one about people who she's had to cut out of her life just so that she can keep on moving forward. Be it being moody or just morons at her old record label, which is what's made, recording this album and getting all this stuff together after all these freaking years so difficult. Now, the melodies are standard and even familiar, but the piano solo while the drums just lose it are what really got my attention, in my opinion. It just sucks that I have no clue what she's saying without a lyric book, because this producer is a jackass.
Don't get caught up and pretend, 'cause you're not in control.
Track 8. Use My Voice. A perfectly elegant introduction, and then why you gotta do this to me? Stop it! Stop that! It's annoying. I hate it. Why do they call it the millennial woe? I'm a millennial. What the fuck? This is just pushing me away from being able to enjoy the song. It's not speaking out anything. This is supposed to inspire women to come forward and tell that shit. And everything in between is fine and intimidating. The dirty bass, that drum pulse, and this vocal passage as you lead into that final chorus and breakdown. And she uses her voice. She just doesn't use it to actually say anything at some point.
We're gonna break through, like it or not.
Track 9 is Take Cover. And from what I've heard, this song is actually pretty old now. I don't remember whenever she actually made it, but I think she's played it like as a fan favorite over the years. I read it somewhere, but it has that sassy vocal style while there's this really low pitch underneath that you used to get with a lot of the older Evanescence music. And that was something I like about it, is it made it ominous, like a horror movie, rock music for a horror movie, to explain those dark thoughts in your head. And it puts that in vocal style. It really is just an I'm mad at somebody, feel my wrath song. The Vengeance. Almost like it was put together in the heat of a moment. So the lyrics, they're not that great, but it's still a fun song in my opinion.
You better take cover.
Track 10, Far From Heaven, is a 10 out of 10. That goes with like 2 other songs. Wasted on You, my favorite song on the album, and then Broken Piece of Shine, which was a great first impression. But this was the final song written and recorded for the album, I think, and it almost didn't even happen because she was saying somewhere in one of those Kerrang or interviews, or whoever the heck does this shit, that she didn't even know if we really needed one of those sad ballads every single album. But she was going through some kind of emotional point, maybe at the beginning of this year, and that's like just how late into the recording process they were, and it got added last second. And she just sat down at the piano and she put this together, and she was just spewing those thoughts. And a lot of the lines in the song I've been able to relate to in recent years. In the past few weeks with what's been going on in my personal life, it's been very difficult and emotional and frustrating. But it's about waking up to heartbreak or feeling like your doors are locked shut. It comes from a perspective of experiencing loss and struggling to maintain faith through that. And I've come closer to God through my struggles and just holding on and pushing forward. And I understand firsthand what it's like to go through so much and lose someone that you really love, and then just have a hard time seeing the light still.
Spend too long in the dark at night.
Just a couple songs left on this album. Part of Me is track 11, and this is intended to be an expression of never-ending hope, refusing to permanently lower your expectations in life. And it's got this hollow and echoey vocal background that I like, a few electronics, elongated chords, and drum work that make the bridge decent. But personally, it just feels like another filler track that's rehashing melodies from their debut album. Like Imaginary for sure, and maybe the song that came before that. The final song on the album is track 12, Blind Belief. And it's actually a pretty darn good ending to the album. I am playing with this hole with my finger in the bottom of my chair because I'm stupid. But it actually sounds very reminiscent of newer Breaking Benjamin, which is peculiar because usually music artists go with like their older sound to mimic a bit. But obviously, I don't think Evanescence is actually trying to do that. It might just be a coincidence. Although this is about maintaining motivation, patience, and loving each other as a society, something Breaking Benjamin doesn't really go with as far as like activism and shit. They always just kind of both stick to melodrama. But everything from distorted drums, volume dynamics, and the enlightening aura around the melody in the chorus, despite this oddly aggressive transition through the bridge, it's just, I get a really strong comparison between the two. And I get this similar feeling of explaining the problems that you have in here, and that's just something we all know about Evanescence and Breaking Benjamin. We don't think about it that often, but I've definitely always felt that way. Well, my final score for this new Evanescence album, The Bitter Truth, is an 85%, which is a B minus. The lowest to go with the B is like an 84. So it's still a B minus, but I mean, that's good. I wouldn't say it's a great Evanescence album. I still feel Fallen, The Open Door are great albums, damn near perfect, and the self-titled is also on the tier of good, maybe better than this one. But that score is like performance and songwriting wise and them playing, all of that. But you add in the factor of just how it sounds and this guy producing it, the mastering, the mix. It's like the guitar is getting dunked in oatmeal and they're taking that and they're smothering Amy Lee's vocal recordings with it. And it sounds so bad. It sounds so fucked up. It's so infuriating that I have to have a lyric book to understand what the hell she's saying on half the songs on this album. Whether it's in verses, chorus, in some cases she's singing, but she's just moaning Myrtle. La, 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 la. So you take that into factor, the listening experience would be like a 75%, a bare minimum C, a C minus, because of whoever the heck is producing this. Just turns it into damn near garbage. And you can't make the excuse that, they don't have the funding, they're not on the major record label anymore, or the COVID restrictions. I mean, Adam Young from Owl City in 2007 was working for UPS and making music in his basement, and it came out more crystal clear than this. Come on! And it pisses me off, because I want to hear Amy Lee sing. She's like the highlight of the band, you can't deny that. You might not like that, but Amy Lee is the front woman, and she's like just the opus of all this. And the guitar work is really good, but for some reason the guitar tone is so fucked up. I expect the guitar to sound like, "Dah!" Like a NASCAR car, "Dah!" Not, although the guitar on this album is. Thanks for watching and listening to me talk about the facts and my opinion on those facts with this new Evanescence album. Definitely be buying a CD copy of this next time I go to the record store. Kamikaze is supposed to be going with me at some point whenever he comes down to Lake Charles before we go to a race weekend in Austin. And I want to get the Chevelle album, 10 Years album, the Pretty Reckless from this year. I still like that one more than this one. That one was an A territory. Even if the production was good on this, I still feel like the overall project was staying in B territory, because it was 85 before I would like dock like 10 points just because of this ridiculous production and poor mastering. But there's album reviews still coming in the future, like The Offspring, which would be the very next one, April 16th. Then there's Royal Blood at the very end of April. There's Rise Against, I think in like June, as well as AFI. That's the four I can think of at this moment. I don't know if there's any others I might be forgetting. There's Hailstorm too, that's another female rock artist. And still at this moment, in recent time, my favorite rock album from a female artist would be Poppy. And that was like the very beginning of 2020. And I definitely recommend that to you, Evanescence fans. We might be getting like a Breaking Benjamin or 3 Days Grace, Shine Down album this year, who knows? Just because, they do that every 3-year thing. But that's all beside the point. See you next time. That's that. And album review over.